How's it, everybody? Money Shot here again, and welcome back to Hawaii Crap Shooters. So as we know, Las Vegas is planning to go back to 100% occupancy in their casinos. And some casinos have already started and got a waiver to go 100%. So what does that mean for us crap shooters? Is it good or is it bad? I'll give you my thoughts. Check it out. First of all, I want to thank all of you, our viewers, for watching Hawaii Crap Shooters, and I hope you guys are enjoying the live craps games that we're bringing to you from the casino and straight into your homes. Hope it's holding you over until you can fly over to Las Vegas and get on those casino tables as well. It's hard work for us to produce these videos, but it's all worth it when we see you guys enjoy these videos and hit that thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. When you guys subscribe to our channel and give that thumbs up, it gives us more opportunity for us to film more live videos in the casinos. So please support Hawaii Crap Shooters. If you guys are already a subscriber, we thank you very much. If you haven't subscribed but you've been watching our channel, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Help Hawaii Crap Shooters bring more live action to you at home. So before I talk about the COVID restrictions being lifted at the craps table, I have a huge announcement. Hawaii Crap Shooters will be back in Las Vegas at the end of this month, but just for a few days because we are flying to beautiful Colorado, where we will be battling the casinos, which they just lifted their limits in Black Hawk. So it's gonna be an amazing trip. I've been there once before. I absolutely love the drive from Denver Airport all the way to Black Hawk. It's breathtaking. You see the gorgeous mountains, the green trees. We saw the snow. We saw, the babbling brooks. We saw everything, and you get that view while you're driving up to Black Hawk. So I'm looking forward to that trip. I'm looking forward to meeting my friend Rick from Let It Roll. If you haven't checked out his channel yet, it's Let It Roll. He has a lot of betting strategies on there, live craps games as well. He does bubble craps, he does roulette, whatever you can think of, Rick does it. So make sure you check out his channel, like and subscribe, support Rick as well on Let It Roll. All right, so how the conversation started was a couple of our crew members were talking and saying how excited they are that things are gonna get back to normal in Las Vegas, and finally the plexiglass is coming off of the craps tables. And I told them, are you guys sure that's what you guys want? Well, let's look at the pros and cons about that. All right, so let's talk about the pros. So obviously with the plexiglass coming down, that is great. Now you don't have this material plastic object obstructing you from your comfortable toss, and now you can go back and tossing either high or if you have a longer arm, you're not gonna get anything that is obstructing you. Also, with the plexiglass coming down, it will help a lot with communications. If you played with a plexiglass that's installed in front of you in some casinos, it made communications a lot harder. Let alone we already have a mask on and it's hard for the dealers to hear us, but with another layer of plexiglass in our faces, it made it harder for us to hear the dealers and for the dealers to hear us. So with the plexiglass coming down, communication should be better, where there's not gonna get a lot of missed bets or missed payouts. Everything should be better. Everybody can go move quicker, dealers will be making less mistakes. So that's another good thing about the plexiglass coming down. Another thing about the plexiglass coming down is that for our bigger set guys, in Hawaii we got some big guys, and when the plexiglasses were up, it was difficult for them to get into that plastic coffin. Even they had to shoot sideways and stuff. So It was difficult for them and uncomfortable for them. So the bigger guys were having a difficult time. They weren't enjoying themselves because they weren't comfortable. But now with the plexiglass coming down, that should give them a lot more breathing room to throw the dice. So that's another pro of the plexiglass coming down. Another pro is table limits. So now with the table being back to normal, you'll see casinos come back down with their table limits. So, or table minimums, I should say. So minimums of $5 tables should come back, and $10 tables will be more frequent around the casinos. So that's great, you know. So with the lower minimums, it'll attract more players, and then we'll have more players on the table. It's good for the casinos and good for the beginner craps players who don't have a big bankroll and just want to enjoy the game. They want the $5 bet, so $5 minimum. So they're gonna have a better time with the $5 minimum. So that's gonna be a pro. And also you get more flexibility now. So with a lower minimal, with betting strategies, you have more options in comparison to a $15 table or $25 table. You don't have much options unless you increase your bankroll. So smaller minimums on the table coming back, that is definitely a pro as well for all types of players. Another positive about the tables going back to normal is that now they can go back to having 5 or 6 people on each side. With COVID, you only could fit 4 if there were plexiglasses. If not, then if no plexiglass, they only could allow 3 per side. So now this is actually a pro and a con, but now you can fit 6 people. You can have more people there. You have more chances of having your friends to play with you, side by side with you, socialize with you while the game is going on. Rather than when we had the restrictions, you only have maybe about 1 or 2 or 3 people you can talk to. Now you can have all of your friends and your buddies on the same table with you. So that's another positive about the restrictions going away. All right, so now let's talk about the cons. So what is negative about the COVID restrictions being lifted? So there is just one thing, and this is what I'm not happy about, is just the increased amount of people on the table. With a lot of people now, like 6 per side, we're talking about 12 people possibly on the table. Now it will take a longer time for you to get the dice back. And as a dice controller like myself, I prefer getting the dice as quickly as possible. So with COVID happening and the COVID restrictions in place and limiting the players, you get the dice pretty much in half the time that you would wait on a full table on a normal table. So that is a negative to me. With the amount of more people on the table as well, it also slows down the game with the payouts, because the games were moving faster with the restrictions, but now without the restrictions, now the dealer has to go back, and some dealers haven't dealt a full full table for a long time. So now they're kind of rusty. So now they're gonna have to pay out 6 people and make sure the payouts are correct. So that takes time. I don't care how fast you're a dealer, you gotta pay out 6 guys. It'll take time. So that adds more delay for you to get the dice back. So dealers, it'll slow the game more with the full table, especially if it's a monster roll and they got to find out a lot of payouts. If they're playing a lot of prop bets, it's going to take a little longer, which ultimately at the end resulting in you getting the dice back a lot longer too. So that's a negative as well. Also now with more players becomes more bets, and more bets equals more landmines. So I loved it when the restrictions were there, because now you only have 2 players out there putting out their bets on their pass line and maybe their odds, but you have less landmines that you need to dodge. So remember, now with the restrictions, you would only have 2 bets on the pass line and possible odds on the back. But when we go back to normal, you could see 3, 4, 5 bets on the pass line, all in your landing zones, giving you maybe a 2-3 inch landing zone. And that is going to be frustrating for a dice controller, because you have your rhythm, you have your toss, you have your muscle memory, you have your dice mechanics all set, what you've been practicing at home, and it's just natural. You've built yourself, you've trained yourself to be your toss be second nature, and guess what? There's a lot of chips in your way. Remembering back when everything was normal, that was an obstacle and a frustration that I had to deal with. So remember now, especially on the weekends, you're gonna get a lot of bets out there. It'll be a lot of landmines that you're gonna have to dodge. So keep that in mind. So talking about the weekends, we just came back from Vegas in April, and during the weekend, it was crazy busy. Parking lots were full. Fremont Street was crazy. We couldn't get on the tables because it was super packed, and it already felt like it was 100% occupancy in the casinos already. So when they lift the restrictions, it's gonna be free reign. All the tables, it's gonna be full. So when you try to get on the table, now everybody's gonna start wanting to squeeze in, especially if they see a lot of people making a lot of noise, they see a lot of chips on the rail. People are gonna squeeze in and fill up the table really quick. And when they squeeze in, there's no such thing as social distancing now, because we don't have that COVID restriction, and everybody and anybody can squeeze their way in. Now you have just elbow rooms in there trying to protect your chips. Oh, and that's one thing you got to watch out for now with a crowded table. You have the railbirds trying to steal your chips. Those thieves that come to the craps table, they make like they're gonna be betting, but they're snaking your chips here. I've seen that happen with my own eyes on one of the tables, but that's what they do. It's a super big crowd on the table. Everybody has a lot of money. They squeeze in, they make like they're gonna put a $5 chip, and they take a black chip off of your rack. So you gotta be careful of that now too. So you gotta now worry about the thieves. Now you gotta worry about, you're not gonna have your personal space because everybody's gonna be crowding in. Now when you throw your toss, you don't have that free room that COVID restrictions gave you. Now you're gonna either have to throw awkwardly or within that small space that you have now, or you got to try and ask your neighbor, hey, can you give me some room to toss? Usually they do, but you know, it's gonna be super tight. It's gonna be uncomfortable. And then now you have the tightness, now you have the landmines you have to deal with, and now you're worrying about the slower table. I mean, and you can get iced while you're shooting when you're on a hot roll. A lot of different factors when you have everybody back to normal on the table. So keep aware of that. And lastly, with the low limits coming down, now you have a variety of players coming on the tables. With the $10, $15, even the $25, you'll get the more serious players because of the bankroll needed to play that. You're not going to see a beginner player playing at a $25 table or a $15 table. But now with the $5 table, you see more of the beginner people coming in. And I love anybody and everybody playing the game, but you got to understand, with a beginner player, they're learning the game. They're going to be asking a lot of questions. It'll slow down the game, but it is what it is. That's what beginners do. They're going to ask questions, and they just want to learn the game as well. So you got to accept that it's going to happen. And Vice versa, you get the guy who's drunk, who takes a long time to put out his bets. He's messy with his chips. He's sloppy with his betting and everything like that, which slows the game. And when they start losing, they start getting irate and belligerent against the dealers, and that just messes the whole mojo up. So you get more of them because they're coming on the table, $5 table. They have nothing to lose. They're super drunk. They're feeling good, and especially when they're winning, then they feel like they're invincible, and they start playing all the prop bets and all the hard ways and all, and that takes even longer and delays the game. And then if they forget their bets, sometimes it could be a huge mess when you play with drunk players. Those of you who have been playing for years, you guys know what I mean. But you basically get a variety of players when the table limits drop, and that will definitely slow down the game, and sometimes change the karma, change the vibe of the game as well. But keep that in mind. With the COVID restriction, it kind of weeded out or filtered out a lot of those players. But now with everybody coming back, those type of players will be coming back. So something that I'm not really looking forward to, but I love to play with anybody and everybody. It's just that I'm just gonna have to adjust my game and my patience and my tolerance in waiting for the dice and trying to protect my bankroll from all of these outside factors that are coming in now. So as you can see, there's a lot of pros and cons with the COVID restrictions being lifted. But as for me personally, I am not looking forward to it. I am a dice controller, and I like to get the dice quickly as possible. I like the rounds to go faster, so more opportunity for me to shoot the dice. I like the fast-paced game where payouts are paid out quickly, so the dice stick man can pass me the dice as fast as possible. I like the rhythm. I like the type of players on the tables with the restrictions, and I love the personal space that I have. That no crowds. You don't have to worry about your chips because the plexiglass is protecting your chips basically. An added protection as well. You should always protect your chips at all times, even with the plexiglass. But that personal space is what I'm gonna miss. I'm not looking forward to rubbing elbows with anybody and everybody around and feeling like a sardine and trying to bet and trying to throw it in that kind of space. But that's what I'm gonna miss on the COVID restrictions, is the space that I have and the landmines as well. I'm not looking forward to trying to dodge or move my landing zone or stretch out and try to get it in between bets, which are placed just 2-3 inches apart from her, like throwing into a field goal. I'm not looking forward to that as well. I guess you can say I was very spoiled with the conditions. Other than the plexiglass being there, all the conditions were, you gotta admit, it was favorable to the dice controller, or the experienced player of the game, because you had so many things going for you with just the plexiglass being there. I got used to the plexiglass. In the beginning it was difficult. I made it more bigger of a problem than it was, but after you get used to it, you can, like anything else, you adjust. But this COVID restrictions really did spoil me as a craps player, and I'm really not looking forward to the COVID restrictions to come up. But it is what it is. We're moving forward from this pandemic, and I'm very happy that Las Vegas is getting back to normal. We're just gonna have to readjust our strategies, readjust when we play, where we play, what time we play. And you guys know from my other video, when I play, I like to go in the morning, and it's because of that. I don't like the crowds. If I'm trying to make a profit, I want my environment to be less interfering as possible. get the dice back quickly. That's what I do. I wanna make a profit. I've done my recreational part in the beginning of my years. It was fun, but now I'm at that level where I am, my goal now is to try to make a profit, and that's my fun now, is when I make a profit now. So before it was fun learning the game, but now it's fun when you make a profit. So different goals at different times. So I guess we're gonna be going early in the morning, and like I said, you see me there 6, 7 in the morning. If that time slot is busy because of this video or because everybody is adjusting, then you may see me at 4 to 5 in the morning. But Money Shot will adjust. He will go in there whenever it's gonna be the best favorable conditions on the craps table. So if you see me on the table, come roll with me. I don't mind. I roll with anybody. But it is what it is. We're gonna go back to normal. So all I can give as some advice is just be prepared when you go back. Don't get frustrated, because Money Shot told you it's gonna be busy. So change your expectations, change your strategies, change your attitude, change your expectation, and you should be fine. You should again have a good time in Las Vegas. So have fun, guys, out there. We're gonna be there in a few weeks. We hope to see you guys there if you guys are there. If you're in Black Hawk, hope I can see you guys there. If you guys see me in Black Hawk, say hi. I'd like to meet all of you viewers in person. I think it's exciting and it's great to meet you guys in person. You know me, I like to take a photo of all of you guys and put that in my video as well. If you do see me, say hi. Introduce yourself. I would love to meet all of you guys either in Las Vegas the end of this month or in Black Hawk, Colorado. So take care, guys. Be safe at the casinos, and may the dice be nice. Aloha.